Vandeyam Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Rana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shah Yanajana Shalakaya Chakshurum Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Gurva Beastam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Samastaveda Nipanam Shirupa Patanagam Govindabidam Ujvalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Shah Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noi Bijapradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanavaranam Balarka Shailanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vanditam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shidaram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema-prayojana Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 23, Life's Ultimate Goal, Love of Godhead. This is Mahaprabhu's instructions to Sanatan Goswami, and this is about, we heard about sambandha and abhidheya, and this is prayojana, life's ultimate goal. Chirad adatam nijagupta vitam swaprema namamritam ati udara Apamaram yo vitataragora Krishno janebhyastamaham prapadye. The most munificent Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Lord Krishna, distributed to everyone, even the lowest of men, his own confidential treasury in the form of the nectar of love of himself and the holy name. This was never given to the people at any time before. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ebe Shuna Bhakti Phala Prema-prayojona Jahara Shravane Hoy Bhakti Rasa Gyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Now hear, O Sanatan, about the result of devotional service, which is love of Godhead, life's ultimate goal. One who hears this description will be enlightened in the transcendental mellows of devotional service. And then Jahara Shravane Hoy Bhakti Rasa Gyan. One will get Gyan, some understanding of Bhakti Rasa. Here it's described Bhakti Rasa as transcendental mellows of devotional service. Well, we'll just say Bhakti. Sounds better, Bhakti Rasa. Krishna Rati Gara Hoyle Prema Abhidheya Krishna Bhakti Rasa Estai Baba Nam. That's because so many words they don't have exact translations. So we're talking about rasa, and rasa in the general sense means taste. But this is a bhakti rasa, the entering into the rasa, which one gets from bhakti, and which is one will be enlightened in the transcendental mellow of devotional service. Jahara Shravane Hoy Bhakti Rasa Gyan. Krishna Rati Gara Hoyle Prema Abhidan Krishna Bhakti Raser Estai Bhavanam. When affection for Krishna becomes deeper, one attains love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called Sthai Bhava, permanent enjoyment of the mellows of devotional service to Krishna. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryam Shu Samyabhank Ruchibis Chitta Mashrinya Krida So Baba Uchate. When devotional service is executed on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, it is like a sun ray of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated in bhava, emotion. So, Edui bhavera swarup tatasta lakan, premera lakana ebe shuna sanatan. Bhava emotion has two different symptoms, constitutional and marginal. My dear Sanatan, listen to the symptoms of love. I remarked before that you can have a Bhava Swarup Tatasta Lakan. So Tatasta is results of that love of Godhead. And so Bhava emotion has two different symptoms, constitutional and marginal. Now, my dear Sanatan, listen to the symptoms of love. The word Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma means situated on the transcendental platform of pure goodness. In this way, the soul is purified of all material contamination, and this position is called Swarup Lakan, the constitutional symptoms of bhava, emotion. By various tastes, one's heart is softened, and there is an awakening of the loving propensity to render spontaneous service to the Lord. This is called Tatasta Lakan, the marginal symptom of bhava. So in dealing with the description of love of God and the different symptoms and qualities, sometimes there is no equivalent translation in English for words. I think Srila Prabhupada has presented very nicely, but one has to understand sometimes the limitations of the Western languages that we're dealing with. Samyan Mashrinita Swanto Mamatvati Shayankitaha Bhavasaiva Sandratma Budai Prema Nigajate. When that bhava softens the heart completely, when the bhava softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called Prema, love of Godhead, by learned scholars. When that bhava softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called Prema, love of Godhead, by learned scholars. Ananya mamata Vishnu mamata prema sangata bhaktir uti uchate bhishma praladod dabab naradai. When one develops an unflinching sense of ownership or possessiveness in relation to Lord Vishnu, or in other words, when one thinks Vishnu and no one else to be the only object of love, such an awakening is called bhakti, devotion, by exalted persons like Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhava, and Narada. Kon bhagye kon jivar shvara jadi hoy, tabe se jivas sadhu sanga jay karai. If by good fortune a living entity develops faith in Krishna, he begins to associate with devotees. Sadhu sanga hoite hoy shravana kirtan sadhana bhakti hoy, sarvanartha nivartan. When one is encouraged in devotional service by the association of devotees, one becomes free from all unwanted contamination by following the regulative principles in chanting and hearing. And this referring to regulative principles, following the principles of sadhana bhakti, and by chanting and hearing. Anartha nivritti hoyle bhakti nishta hoy, nishta hoyte shravanadye ruchi upajay. When one is freed from all unwanted contamination, one advances with firm faith. When firm faith in devotional service awakens, a taste for hearing and chanting also awakens. Ruchi hoyte bhakti hoy asakti prachur, asakti hoyte chitte janme Krishna priti ankur. After taste is awakened, a deep attachment arises, and from that attachment the seed of love for Krishna grows in the heart. Se baba gata hoite dare premanam, se prema-prayojona sarvanandadam. When that ecstatic emotional stage intensifies, it is called love of God. Such love is life's ultimate goal and the reservoir of all pleasure. Srila Bhaktivedanta summarizes this growth of love of Godhead as a gradual process. A person becomes interested in devotional service by some good fortune, eventually becomes interested in pure devotional service without material contamination. At that point, a person wants to associate with devotees. As a result of this association, one becomes more and more interested in discharging devotional service and hearing and chanting. The more one is interested in hearing and chanting, the more one is purified of material contamination. Liberation from material contamination is called anarti nivritti, indicating a diminishing of all unwanted things. This is the test of development in devotional service. If one actually develops the devotional attitude, one must be freed from the material contamination of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. This is, of course, Srila Prabhupada established this as the principles for devotional service. These are the preliminary symptoms. When one is freed from all material contamination, one's firm faith in devotional service awakens. When firm faith develops, a taste arises, and by that taste, one becomes attached to devotional service. When this attachment intensifies, the seed of love of Krishna fructifies. This position is called priti or rati, affection, or bhava, emotion. When rati intensifies, it is called love of Godhead. This love of Godhead is actually life's highest perfection and the reservoir of all pleasures, of all pleasure. Thus, devotional service is divided into two stages, sadhana bhakti and bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti refers to the development of devotional service through the regulative principles. The basic principle for the execution of devotional service is faith. Above that, there is association with devotees, and after that, there is initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. After initiation, when one follows the regulative principles of devotional service, one becomes freed from all unwanted things. In this way, one becomes firmly fixed and gradually develops a taste for devotional service. The more the taste grows, the more one desires to render service to the Lord. In this way, one becomes attached to a particular mellow or a particular rasa in the Lord's service, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhura. As a result of such attachment, bhava develops. Bhava Bhakti is the platform of purified goodness. By such purified goodness, one's heart melts in devotional service. Bhava Bhakti is the first seed of love of Godhead. This emotional stage is there before one attains pure love. When that emotional stage intensifies, it is called Prema Bhakti, or transcendental love of Godhead. This gradual process is also described in the following two verses, which are found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, these are those two verses. Ado Shradat Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajana Kriya Tato Narta Nivrittisha Tato Nishta Ruchis Tataha Atashaktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Bhudan Shati Sadakanam Ayam Premna Pradur Bhave Bhavet Gramaha. In the beginning, there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotions intensify, and finally there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kataha tajoshanad ashrapavarga vartmani shradaratir bhaktir anukramishyati. A spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in association. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. First, from faith, then comes attraction, rati, and bhakti, devotion or love. Jahara ridaye bhavan kurag hoy, Jahara ridaye bhavan kurag hoy, tahate eteka China Sarva Shastre Koi. If one actually has a seed of transcendental emotion in one's heart, the symptoms will be visible in one's activities. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. Shantir Anyarta Kaladvam Viraktir Mana Shunyata Asabandha Samutkanta Namagane Sadaruchi Asaktis Tad Gunakyane Pritis Tad Vasatis Tale Iti Adaya Nubhava Shur Jata Bhavan Kure Jane Shantir Anyarta Kalatvan Viraktir Mana Shunyata Asha Bandha Samutkanta Namagane Sadaruchi Asaktis Tad Gunakyane Britis Tad Vasatis Tale Iti Adayo Nubhava Shur Chata Bhavankure Jane. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. Enava priti ankura jara chitti hoy, enava priti anukura jara chitte hoy, prakrita shobhe tara shobha nahi hoy. If love for Krishna in a seedling state, has fructified in one's heart, one is not agitated by material things. Tam mano payatam pratiyantu vipra ganga chadeve drita chittam ishe dvijo pash rishta kuakas takshako vai dashate alam gayata vishnugataha. O Brahmins, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, always accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord in my heart. Let the snake bird, or whatever magical thing the Brahmin created, bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Maharaj Parikshit while he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges expecting to be bitten by a snake bird summoned by the curse of a Brahmin boy named Shringi, who was the son of a great sage named Shamika. News of the curse was conveyed to the king, who prepared for his imminent death. Many great saintly persons, sages, Brahmins, kings, and demigods came to see him in his last days. Maharaj Parikshit, however, was not at all afraid of being bitten by the snake bird. Indeed, he requested all the great personalities assembled to continue chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu. Krishna sambandha vina kala vyarta nahi jai. Not a moment should be lost. Every moment should be utilized for Krishna or connected with him. Maharaj Parikshit's expression of his anxiety is explained in this verse. He says, let whatever is destined to happen take place. It doesn't matter. Just let me see that not a moment of my time is wasted without a relationship with Krishna. One has to tolerate all obstacles on the path of Krishna consciousness. And one has to see that not a moment of one's life is wasted outside of Krishna's service. Vagbis duvanto manasas smarantas tara namantopi anisham natriptaha bhaktash Shava netra jala samagram ayur harer eva samarpayanti. With their words, they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remember the Lord. With their bodies, they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicate their whole lives to the Lord's service. Okay. With their words, they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remember the Lord. With their bodies, they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicate their whole lives to the Lord's service. Bhakti, Siddhi, Indriyartha, Tarinahibhai. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power, and sense gratification, but these things do not appeal to the devotees at all. Yodustyajan darasutan suridrajam ridis sprishaha jahol yuvaiva malavad uttamashloka lalasaha. King Bharata was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is called Uttamashloka because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharata gave up his attractive wife and children as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. These are the signs of virakti, detachment, found in a person who has developed bhava, the preliminary stage of Godhead. So he gave Maharaj Bharata, who India is named after, in all the Indian languages, they don't call India, they refer to it as Bharata. So Maharaj Bharata was ancient king, and he renounced his kingdom, friends, and everything. And here it's described, just as after one passes stool, one doesn't wait around, one leaves quickly. So that was the mentality of Maharaj Bharata. Sarvotama apanake hina korimane. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lowest stage of life. Haroratim vihanesha narendranam shikamani viksham atan atipure swapakam api vandate. Bharat Maharaj always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bharata Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering obeisances to chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. He was even offering respects to dog eaters and fallen and low-class persons. Bharat Maharaj always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bharat Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering respects to chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. Krishna Kripa Koribena Drida Korijane. A fully surrendered devotee always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. Na prema shravanadi bhaktir api va yogotaj va vaishnavo jnanam va shubha karma va kiyad aho sajjatir api astiva hinartadika sadake tvai tatapi achedya mula sati he gopi jana valabha vyatayate ha mads asaiva mam. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities, nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. This hope is always giving me pain. Samutkanta hoy sara lalasa pradana. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. Tvatschaishavam Sri Bhavanad Bhutamiti Avehi Madhyapalam Chatava Va Mama Vadigamyam Tatkim Karomi Viralam Murali Vilasi Mugdam Mukambujam Urikshiptum Ikshanabayam. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place, but how can this be accomplished? Namagane Sadaruchi Loy Krishnanam. Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra constantly. Rodana Bindu Maranda Shandi Drig Indi Varaja Govinda. Rodana Bindu Maranda Shandi Drig Indi Varaja Govinda. Tava Madhura Swarakanti Gayati Nama Valimbala. O Govinda, this youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy names in a sweet voice. Krishna Gunakyane Hoy Sarvada Asakti. At this stage of bhava, a devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. Madhuram Madhuram Vapur Asya Vibor Madhuram Madhuram Varanam Madhuram Madhugandhi Mridus Mitam Etad Aho Madhuram, 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 Madhuram. Oh, my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body. But his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is sweeter still. Krishna Lila Stane Kore Sarvada Vasati. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always resides in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. Karaham Yamuna Tire Namani Tava Kirtayan Udbaspa Panduri Kaksha Rachayashyami Tandavam. O Lord Pundarikaksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Jamuna? Krishna Ratira China E Koilun Vivaran Krishna Prema China Eveshuna Sanatan. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, bhava, for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. O Sanatan, please hear this from me. So, these are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction or bhava for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. O Sanatan, please hear this from me. So tomorrow I'll continue at this point. Okay. Now we'll sing Hari Haraya. You want to play? You can play kartos. Hello? No, don't. Kartos. No, L. No, you're going to play kartos. Okay. This is what estamos en un trance. Very good. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Janardan Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhaktaraguna. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jai Te Vignana Shabishta Puran. Echai Gosai Jar Muri Taradas. Tasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Echai Gosai Jabe Brache Koilabas. Radha Krishna Madhya-lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Majai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Nirya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmamacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charya Ashta Tara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charya Ashta Tara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupa Nuka Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Badadasha Raghunath Shadgo Swami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Vishvavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vishaka Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadev Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kaladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan. Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shena Shingadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.